guys, there's no need to introduce ourselves. What we're going to do is we're going to clip a lot of this, so even if it's not functional, right? For the pilot episode, this is behind a paywall anyways.
You have to have Rome Premium.
This is what's included in Rome Care Premium. Everybody's been asking, right? Zach, you've given some feedback on the Jeeps. This is an article we pulled up.
Yes.
That's a Porv in the background, working hard, burning the midnight oil. But like, let's talk about the Jeep, Zach. So you and I pulled up this article, and we actually got to talking about this because we have the Jeeps in our fleet, and we were talking about the size. A lot of people have this perception when they go and get a Jeep, they're getting this big SUV. Not to knock it, it's a totally unique vehicle on its own. But we were talking about it. You pulled up an interesting stat because I said it was small. We didn't know how small it was.
It's crazy because I feel like Jeeps are so overrated.
Why?
Like,
okay, why is that hot take?
You know, hot take. You know, I don't want to be a hater, but I think they're just so overrated. Like, they look the same forever. Yes, very functional.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Very functional. But quite literally, and you can look this up, exact same size as a Honda Civic interior.
Exactly the same size?
Actually, Honda
Interior,
Civic,
legroom?
Legroom. The only thing that Jeep wins on is headroom. Right? And you know, probably by a long shot because you can take the top off.
But
Honda Civic is actually not the same, actually slightly bigger.
So you're telling me the front passenger cabin,
Yes.
I guess the driver and passenger, it's actually got more legroom.
Yeah, literally. And like from the outside, it looks big,
Yeah.
right? But when you actually, a lot of people don't realize when you actually get into one, like the front, like you don't have that much space. You don't have that much hip room, leg room, nothing like that. Like it's pretty shit.
We're allowed one swear word per episode as per our sponsors.
As per our sponsors. Don't worry.
But the thing about Jeeps though that I find interesting is like clearly, yes, you can take the doors off, right? But on the inside, a lot of people don't realize they're like designed to be waterproof. So you can take the doors off, but a lot of it is plastic. It's great. Again, cool cars.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't know those two quirks. It's very small on the inside for that reason. And I think that's probably one of the reasons it is smaller is because they're making an effort to just have more plastic. And it's like mud guards, right? So that way it's easier to spray down and wash.
Exactly. I mean, the Broncos look pretty nice. I don't know if you saw them. They look.
Of course, I see them all over the road. We don't have any in the fleet yet. Very popular demand. We have a few orders in.
Yes.
Just super exciting.
Yes. So first couple Broncos coming, I think Q2? I think they're coming in.
Zach, don't reveal all of our secrets.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
By request by our platinum members as well.
Yes.
Exactly.
Our Rome Platinum members.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But so one of the article we actually pulled up as well, I thought this was funny because like all of the car trims that exist kind of today, I feel like they're getting wackier. And this one is just a very whimsical article. It's called a Jeep Beach Trim. So it's just a tie-in with Daytona Beach. Obviously, it's an American-only thing. We are not going to get these ones in Canada. Rome is not going to get these cars unless in the future you visit us down in Florida, potentially. But yeah, the Jeep Beach. And again, just kind of fun graphics. And that's it. And they're going to mark them up. And they're going to be cool, but functionally, they're basically just going to be the same vehicle.
It's the exact same thing. They're going to put a nice little sticker on the side of the... That's what they put, actually.
Yeah.
A nice little sticker on the hood. And, you know, maybe some orange lines and call it, you know, the Venice Beach edition.
Worth it if we're talking Hot Wheels.
Yes.
You know, and you're at the dollar store.
Yes.
Which is crazy because the dollar store has Hot Wheels. They're like $1 a car.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, I feel like it's a good deal, but what do you end up doing with them?
You lose them, you throw them out, right? Like, the markup on that, what do you think it is? 10 G's?
What do you yeah, so two questions. What is it and what do you think it should be? I think a markup like that in US dollars is probably $4,000. 4.5.
Yeah.
If it's limited edition though, it just really depends.
Exactly. I mean, it's Dodge. I mean, they're going to say it's limited edition, then keep it running for 5 years. So.
But only 500 copies, the article is saying.
500 copies?
500 copies of this car. So that could be a rare aesthetic.
It could be good for that Florida boomer.
It could be.
You know?
Roll
No
Tide.
offense to our boomers.
This is why it's a pilot. But the interesting thing about Dodges is, especially the Jeeps, like you said, they've never really died. And there's been a couple different editions. I think there was a Crayola Jeep.
Really?
I feel like there was.
Yes. And it came with the markers and you can just write on the side, right? Or am I tripping out? Or is that the G-Wagon? That could get the custom.
Definitely not the G-Wagon.
No, I swear to you,
Definitely not
it's one or the other.
No,
I
was
promise.
was there a Hot Wheels Jeep edition as well? I feel like that is. I think there was a.
I remember. Do you guys remember the Call of Duty edition?
There was a Jurassic Park edition.
No.
Yes, there was a Jurassic Park Jeep. I'll pull it up right now.
Can we get fact checks, please?
Yeah, 100%. It's a Jurassic Park Jeep.
Wow.
It was a thing. No joke. Buy for sale. It was actually an edition that they had for a while. No joke at all.
But that actually makes sense.
It does.
Compared to the Venice Beach
But
edition.
but there were other ones as well. There were other editions. So they do have some fun ones. But basically it's just kind of limited to like decals and
Yeah, I mean they're not going to do anything with the engine or anything. Like, just like
no
cool
like,
colorways and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it, right?
yeah, they'll pick like a higher trim, obviously, which is super cool. But beyond that, yeah, that just kind of is what it is.
But I mean, is it worth it though? You know, I checked today actually. Starting price point on a Jeep base,
Okay.
$47K.
So I think in order to answer that question, I remember a couple years ago I was looking because I was talking to somebody who leased a Jeep, and the base level trim came, I think, a few years ago. Didn't even come with Bluetooth.
No shot.
No way.
I swear.
So actually, no. Now
It probably
refresh
does
my
now.
memory. Back in the day, I remember base trim.
Yeah,
You had manual windows. as
you
well,
probably did.
right?
And they probably sold it as like it's good for mudding.
no electronics.
Electronics, you take it a little deeper. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't encourage that in room subscriptions. don't,
Unless you have Roam Care.
no, yeah, even then, that might be a little bit questionable. Unless you get it on camera, and there's a certain amount of excitement that gets the community.
Some Roam stickers, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But so, do you think, like, it's obviously really easy to identify another Jeep waver
Yeah.
because they wave at you, right? Driving the Jeep. Bus drivers, same thing. Do you think there's any other kind of like? Do you think the Bronco drivers wave at each other?
I don't think it's been out long enough. They didn't get the memo.
But okay. So do you think a Bronco driver is allowed to wave at a Jeep driver and they wave back?
No, there has to be a beef. There's like no way, because I bet you
Okay.
a lot of the Jeep owners
Yeah.
went to Ford and got the Bronco.
Well, yeah, because you've been lifelong. There's been nothing
Right?
else
So,
as
like-
competition.
And so now the guy that's driving the Jeep still, loyal to the soil, he's like, you betrayed us.
Yeah, you left.
You left us.
Yeah, we're still here.
You're pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's like, you can't wave at me. Don't wave at me.
Is that like top 10?
I spit on you.
Top 10 biggest car beefs of all time?
I would argue so. I think it's definitely has to be a big car beef. Like, no way. Like,
Just,
like,
can you imagine though?
Keep your hand down.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of like car discrimination racism. It basically is.
Car discrimination.
It's like it's the same. We're all the same.
Yeah.
We're
all off-road.
That one's just a Bronco. This one's
I'll
a
go
Jeep.
4x4. Like,
We're all meant for the mud.
We're all meant for the mud. Like, it doesn't set me.
but there 100% is that family feud.
100%.
There's got to be some universe where Shakespeare, instead of Romeo and Juliet, it was like instead of like rivaling families, they were just indifferent. Broncos versus Jeeps, right? in the Megatron universe of Transformers, right? Do you think Transformers can be like discriminatory against other brands, right? Like you're a Mazda, and
It's like, how can you? It's like, oh, I'm Optimus.
the transport truck drivers are different. That's a different species.
It's a different species, man. I don't
Some
know.
of those trucks, though, okay. This is the beauty of it. Now we're riffing. The articles we have, those are just our safety net now. But like, it's crazy. I'm not a truck guy. I'm not the term for trains, they call them a foamer.
A foamer?
Yeah. It's somebody who really likes trains and they know all the models. You know that guy on TikTok? The train guy?
No, I never seen
yeah,
that.
and he has
Yeah.
the GoPro like on his forehead all the time.
Yeah. Look. This guy, right?
I can't quite believe this, but I'm about to witness two rail tours crossing over each other
Right.
at exactly the same point. For a railway enthusiast, it's like finding a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I really hope
This is what you call a foamer. The guy like really likes trains.
Here.
Do you know where they came up with that term?
Please stop that.
So first of all, I hope it's not derogatory.
That's what I want to know.
I'm really hoping.
It seems pretty aggressive.
Not as aggressive as the GoPro.
Oh no. I'm not going to be able to see both here.
The tongue. Uh-oh, he was too far down the platform. His heart must be beating, eh?
He sprinted.
So there's another foam.
Another foamer.
another foamer.
A fellow foamer.
His laughs, ready? Pure unbridled excitement. So
You can't get mad at that though. Like,
No, it's genuine.
do you think
It's
there's
I
people?
want to have that kind of excitement.
100%. Do you think there's people that get that excited when they see a Rome Jeep drive by?
You know, every time I see it,
Boris just confirmed it. He's one of them. but yeah, no, like off topic. But I was thinking like I'm not one of these people that likes trucks like trains. You know, not. I watched Mighty Machines growing up.
Mighty Machine.
Did you guys ever watch that?
I remember that.
Absolutely.
I love that show.
Yeah, so there was a couple cool machines, you know, nice units. When you see a nice unit,
I like the truck driver ones.
yeah, for sure. But like sometimes you see a transport, it's all kitted out with the lights and stuff, and you see it in the dark, and you're like, wow, that's attention to detail.
What do they call them? Chicken lights, right?
Exactly, chicken, and dude, and they have like the color sequence. They got the blues. They got the LEDs under the skirt. Like it looks really good.
What's interesting though is like here, like, you know, like Americans, North America in general, like, you know, we kitted out with lights and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? But like when you go to like, you know, Africa and India, they go like extreme.
Okay,
Like,
but what are you talking about?
no, like they got like
Do they?
LEDs, all that stuff. But what's interesting about it though is they got the horns, right? They got like
Custom
horns.
So what do I search here without like breaking safe search filter?
You go to search up Indian truck horn, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Omit the
it's
Y.
not a regular horn.
Omit the Y.
It's not a regular horn.
Indian truck horns of different types.
Oh yeah.
Shout out one time to YouTube Premium.
Is this the Prison Break intro? It's a Prison Break intro. It's a Prison Break intro. Michael's walking across the field.
That was it.
He was literally the Prison Break intro.
बहुत अच्छे होंगे और आप देख रहे हैं हाईवे लाइव चैनल की तरफ
That's what I'm saying.
That's a banger though.
No way. How did you know about this, Zach?
Bro, I stumbled upon it one late night, man. I'm telling you.
And it's a compilation. It's top 5. This guy's doing a cap. This is
But like they got curtains and shit inside, like all that shit. Look how decked out this one is.
the Gujar boy. This
Right?
is belligerent.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
This is unbelievable.
So like they're really into it.
Yeah.
Right? They love that shit, right? And so like they got like
Clearly, dude.
things hanging off of it and stuff like
That's,
that.
that was banger. That was like a.
That was a banger.
That was a banger.
He paid premium for that.
The SRT at the top. Do you
Yo,
see?
I mean,
Do you
like-
see the SRT at the top?
And then at the bottom, Road King. No
Bro,
way.
but like that's literally how it is. Like India, Africa, like they just
Okay.
like really into
The
that
Tata.
culture, right? But I think kind of what's behind it though is like those are probably like 1980s, like really old trucks.
Yeah.
Right, and so they can't add Apple CarPlay. So what's the next best thing,
Dude.
They're gonna add a sick ass horn, right? Put some lights on it, some dangling things, some carpets.
Zach, the crazy thing. The crazy thing I'm thinking about, you know the movie Cars?
Yeah.
They missed the opportunity for one of these trucks.
oh my god.
That would be unbelievable.
It just comes
pals
rolling
with
down.
Lightning McQueen.
It's like,
That's insane, dude.
oh my god.
This is like. This is okay. Thanks for taking us down that rabbit hole.
I'm sorry.
That's
it
pretty
had to be
awesome.
done. It had to be done.
That is pretty exceptional.
Yes.
So, like, I guess horns in Canada, the only horns you can customize are the Teslas, which we do have available for subscription. Very popular. There's going to be a tax hike. We've got a lot of interest. So if you
carbon
guys
tax
are
is
looking,
coming in right
carbon tax is coming in. We're going to save that one for political reasons. We are not getting into that. We have been advised we will not touch that. But there's been a lot of interest in Tesla. It's definitely a cool car because a lot of people don't realize that they need to kind of live with it. to see if they can really switch and adopt to going electric, you know? And I think a lot of customers find that to be really rewarding. You obviously need a place to plug it in. We have these conversations with customers all day long, basically, about, you know, the response. It's like a pet.
It's a lifestyle change.
It is a total lifestyle change.
Yeah.
You're planning your whole life around it. I mean, your whole day and everything. Like, you know, okay, I'm gonna stop here or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not that you're stopping every single day, right? But I mean, like, I feel like the cost savings is pretty awesome. Like, we both driven it both times.
Yeah.
And, you know, you drive it all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it's on average, you're at a supercharger, you're probably around $25.
That's not that much money, man.
Right. And that's peak hours.
You know what's funny? So I think the charging thing is inconvenient. I live in a condo, driving one right now. But the one thing I will say, I've gotten into a very good habit of, I charge the car, and then I walk around Sherway. I mall walk. And so this is not related to this is a Rome podcast. We're an automotive company. This podcast will probably end up having nothing to do with anything automotive. We'll start there, we won't finish there. But I park in the Sherway parking lot. I catch a stride, I go into the mall. Okay. And the thing I like about Sherway is I've never looked at the map. So I know, like, when I take the corridors, I'm ending up in different loops. I don't know if it's a figure eight. I don't want to know. I just, but sometimes I'll take a left where you can take a left or a right. Sometimes I'll take the right, and I just end up in these different loops of the mall. I came to the conclusion that these people, you know, the people that are like standing out front with the blazers and the gelled up hair, and they're like, "Come, bro, come take a sample," and they're just trying to get you to get creams and stuff.
Yeah.
The moment that you go to those people, you completely throw off their whole vibe.
What do you mean? I guess, are they not expecting you to actually?
They're not expecting it. So like, I'll mall walk, and the first time they're like, "Hey, yeah, you come over, come on, like, here's a sample. I want to show you this." Like, no thanks, I'm just charging my car. And it's funny too, because it's really weird for me to say this. I prepared the Tesla app open on my phone, seeing them before I got there, so I could show them. So I'm like, not that they would be rabid and like chase me, but I'm like, no, I'm not lying. I'm really just waiting for my car to charge, but I have to go now, right? Because I thought it would be weird if they keep seeing me do loops, right? So anyways, I say no, goodbye. The second time I walk around and I go over to them and I approach them. It was awkward the first time because I said no. Then I go over to them. I'm like,
"What do you got?"
I actually didn't say that. I just went up with like an absolute burner and I said, "Do you like what you do?"
No way you said
shot.
that.
And then I didn't mean this in like in a rude way or anything. But you could clearly see the reaction on their face. They're like, "How did he just mean that?" And it was a really weird conversation. So I charged a Tesla at Sherway Gardens.
Shout out Sherway Gardens one time.
That's it.
Maybe two.
Yeah, but it's funny. When you bring the conversation to them, it gets weird really fast. So what do you do? Is this it? Are you in school? No. Oh. And it's like, I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm waiting for my car to charge.
So you need someone to talk to.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? So Sick Kids as well, I went over and I was talking to these people. They're all just a company that's representing Sick Kids or whatever, like, you know, if there's a donation thing set up, point of sale there, it's just a company that's a third party.
Yeah.
And they actually collect some of the profits. It's just how that stuff works, eh?
In the booth?
No way.
Yeah, 100%. They collect some of the donations.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't. I wouldn't say they're collecting from the donation. They're probably paying them separately.
So interesting. There's a whole documentary on this. And I think it's called Telemarketing, accurately. So it was basically about this in the 90s, the cold calling and like the absolute, like, you know, what do they call that? What's that movie that Mark quoted the other day? Mark Angel. We like you, man.
Big shout out to Mark.
Big shout out, Mark. Krypton Rentals, super awesome company we're working with as well. They do a great job around the film industry. But what was he talking? It was Boiler Room. And that was like the inception of like this one particular company that did telephone marketing. They would go and represent these like unions and fundraisers and raise money, and they would make a commission off of it. So they would go and say whatever. And there's like VHS footage because they would hire anybody. They would do like drugs in the bathroom. Like the documentary is crazy to the extent of like what was going on. It was like Wolf of Wall Street, but these people were making like pennies on the dollar compared to like what they were making. And then we do all this crazy stuff and lie and just get donations. And they would collect the money over the phone, and that's it. You get it. there was no crazy customer service back then for like refunds. It was like the money is in the hole, right? And so there's a whole industry about that. But
that's pretty crazy how we went down this rabbit hole.
It is.
Very interesting, though.
Very interesting, man.
But like, I refuse to believe that that's happening nowadays, though. No,
I don't know. This is a podcast, so we're going to rely purely on speculation and let people tell us we're wrong.
Yes.
And the best way that we come out of this is there's an argument. It boosts engagement and encourages the wrong behavior from us to our audience.
Will it be in the comments at nighttime, 12 a.m.?
Yeah, they would probably find a way to make it racist. That's the best when that happens. But okay, so let's talk about the other article we were going to talk about. Speaking of haters, transition.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we got something pulled up on the screen. The Rolls Royce delivers the one-off Arcadia drop-tail roadster to its new owner. This is a one-of-one in Singapore. We're just going to take a look at some of these photos right now. Pretty sweet looking car.
It's an EV, right? Or
that I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's just like a limited edition. They'll use like rare woods from endangered countries with very strict export rules, right? They just make it as impossibly difficult to build this car.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then it's kaput. And then some guys are going to flip it in 2 years on StockX.
Not StockX.
But anyways, we got to talking about this car. And we realized driving.ca, again, great website. But it's so funny, Zach, you were saying that some of these car reviews coming out for these Rolls Royces, $500,000 cars, they're giving them like two out of 5 stars.
2 stars. It's pretty crazy. Like, I think
there it is, right there.
Like, how like Rolls Royce goes 2.75 out of 5.
Yeah,
it's like impossible.
So look, let's look at the scoring. The fuel economy. This is what makes me laugh. So I think there's two stances here. First of all, if you can afford a $500,000 car, you don't care about fuel. Totally fair. I think there's also the angle of these people, like 4 out of 5 of these people are saying that like because of the environmental implications, this is like you shouldn't be owning this car.
Yes.
Hilarious point to me because a Rolls Royce is not a daily driver.
No, you're just taking it out on the weekend as a cruiser.
Right.
That's it.
You're not daily driving this thing. You're not emitting the emissions that, this is actually a problem that should be warranted for 1 out of 5 stars for fuel economy.
But even like they were hating on the electric one. The one, what is it? The Spectera or something?
Say it with an accent, Zach.
The Spectera.
Yeah, perfect.
I hope I didn't butcher that. I don't know if that's their actual name.
No, I think you said it perfectly, and the comments will certainly agree with you.
Comments can just tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Do you think Rolls Royce would be worth more money if they use Rolls with a Z? Or less money? Brand value. Do you think they've had this conversation?
They had to have that conversation. I mean, I think they should change it to with the Z. They would
think about it carefully.
Rolls. We're rolling on the road.
I don't know. It could be a good idea.
It could be a good idea.
But like also, here's my hot take on this. 2.75. I think that's hilarious. People aren't buying a Rolls Royce because the car review. They're buying it because of the status it affords them. If you're driving a Rolls Royce, then you're one of those people that's completely crushed it. But also, if you're driving a Rolls Royce, you're one of those people who also flies private, which is a way bigger problem.
Is that why the fuel efficiency rating is so low?
I think it's like
it's actually
combined.
a boat. Like it's heavy. Like it's really, really heavy.
I think it's combined hatred. Really clearly, if you have a Rolls Royce, you're taking private planes. You're really not worried about this stuff, and you're probably more of a menace in the sky than you are on the ground.
What's interesting, though, the BMW 7 Series.
Okay.
It's actually on the same platform as a Rolls Royce. I don't think the Ghost, but maybe the other one.
What can we do with that information?
This is the information, right? You go to the BMW.
Okay.
You spend $180K.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
And you get a Rolls Royce for half the price.
True.
Right?
True.
What's interesting, though, I bet you if you search up the reviews on the BMW 7 Series, it's going to be slightly higher than the Rolls Royce they just rated.
Well, let's do it. BMW 7 Series driving.ca review. We'll let autocorrect worry about that.
3.5.
And then let's look at fuel. Same platform. 4 out of 5 for fuel economy. We got some haters. That's unbelievable.
So they're just hating. Do
you think it would be a good idea? You know how like hermit crabs, you can change your shell? Why can't you do that with cars?
Just like when you're done.
Like modular.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't just be up to lube technicians to kit out their vehicle with body kits and stuff.
Shout out to our lube technician.
Yeah, exactly. You guys keep everything lubricated and rolling, so that's good. Thank you.
Do you remember back in the day you could change the skin on your iPhone?
No.
What? What are you talking about?
You just unlocked a prime memory.
You remember that? Like
Changing iPhone skin?
yeah. Like back in the day, like you would just get a new like black or red like
What are you talking
case.
about? Like this?
Like the metal
Yes.
shell.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean now it's like it's probably
It's forbidden.
yeah, I mean warranty voided.
Yeah. That's what happened when Steve Jobs left the earth. He's like, and by the way, I'm taking all the fun with me. Nobody's allowed to change their skin. That's my last and final commandment. That's the Apple CEO. Yeah, guys, we don't have any Apple cars in our fleet. So we're free to.
What's crazy? They announced. They said they just scrapped the project.
So here's the thing in the land of like, in the land of optimism, this is all good and dandy. I think the challenge that a lot of people, so what's interesting, a lot of people don't know, and we'll probably pull up more research. I'm excited to bring experts on to actually challenge them on this stuff and learn about it because we don't know anything. We're just humble customer service people. A lot of great product, though. But like, the thing that I don't understand is when these cars come off the line, you clearly have the opportunity to, you can customize them from a factory order. You can go all these different directions, but like, yeah, it's weird that there's not more modularity in these vehicles. I just don't understand. You'd think that it would be more common.
It has to be a cost thing though.
But even that, everybody shares the same batteries. It's just some things we decided universally not to share. And for example, the Apple car, sorry, the point I was getting to, is everybody's got a different take on self-driving. And I think the idea behind the Apple car was it would be an autonomous car. It wouldn't necessarily be them going into the business of transportation. It's in my argument with Tesla, for right or for wrong, they're in the business of batteries. Cars is a really good commodity. Sell a big battery and invest into R&D, right? And so I think Apple, the same sense, autonomous driving, AI, like if you can create machine learning, the amount of data that thing inputs all day long about people, the environment, habits, usage, all that stuff. Like there's everything from your phone. Apple already has your phone, but the way you interact with it while you're driving, totally insane. Yeah. The insurance business related to that. So there's so much beyond just car, the utility of A to B. But like nobody can agree on whether you use the LiDAR, right? Or if you just use photos. So Tesla is all about photos. Other manufacturers use LiDAR, which is basically, it spins around. It's echolocation. That's what bats... Echolocation with light.
Yeah, Volvo's doing that right now.
Yeah, but like nobody has an agreed upon take, which is super interesting. There's so much polarity right now in the car world between the autonomous systems, also with the driving technology. Like Toyota, I remember a few years back at the auto show, they said that they would have 7 hybrids being equivalent to the amount of batteries and raw material that's required to produce one electric car. So their mantra, that's why you don't see like electric cars from Toyota. They are better served for the world and for consumers to make hybrid cars that give you the most bang for the buck, and they can make more of them compared to the requirements for EVs. But again, some manufacturers will go full EV, some don't touch hybrid, some will touch hydrogen. Like nobody really knows.
I mean, like a lot of them made like big claims, especially like the last 2 years. Like they all said we're gonna go full EV 2030.
It's not possible.
Like Mercedes just backed out. I think a couple of weeks back they just said we're gonna stop. We're not gonna.
The EQS has been a nightmare for them.
Yeah, it's like such expensive units.
Yeah, and I think so. That's the comfort level that everybody hid behind, was every EV became a luxury car before anybody knew it. Right? It was not an entry level thing. The whole point of people going EV, and like we can attest to this firsthand. Customers want the value of fuel savings. If the value that you're getting from fuel savings is offset by a higher premium for the vehicle payments or the MSRP, it completely misses the point.
Yeah.
So,
like I remember when I think Tesla first came out, and back then they were just doing the Model S and stuff for that. You did the numbers on that. I think you would have to keep the car for about 7 years.
Yeah.
For you to actually save money on gas.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, for the difference of premium.
Yeah, it's like you're just paying a massive premium over that, right?
That sounds right, yeah.
All right, so I think like moving forward, I mean, I think the hybrid route is probably really big. I mean, we hear it all the time, right? All the customers want to do hybrid.
Yep.
Right. Kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And especially with range anxiety, all that stuff that's going on right now in the EV world, especially in Canada.
Yep.
Specifically, I mean, it gets cold. We see it all the time with our customers.
Yep.
Right?
They get stranded.
At least 30% kilometer drop.
Yep.
Right. And on best of the best, like Tesla.
Yeah.
Right.
Like literally the golden standard.
Yeah.
And especially too for infrastructure. That's the big thing too. So we have one of our clients, Intelligent.
Yep.
Great company out of Oakville that's working, help power, the infrastructure that's required to make a more electric friendly future. They basically provide some of the guts and the transformers to, allow solar panels and vehicles to be charged on more stable grids. Probably butchered it. That's fine. But bottom line is like that's the biggest constraint right now is there's not enough electricity. They tell you to shut off your AC in the summer. Everybody can't run their AC in the summer at the same time because you may pop a breaker outside or a transformer, whatever the big units are. You might shut down a whole block.
Yeah.
So if everybody goes to plug in their cars, like forget it. It's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to work. I mean, that's what Paul was saying, right? I think they were doing like the solar panels on top of the electric chargers to kind of help with the grid, right? But really and truly, the grid is not ready at all to have all these chargers.
Also, I think the challenge is like the cost of these electric panels, the speed at which they charge. Like it's just not there yet, and nobody is in incentivized interest to actually put money into R&D to speed it up. And just throwing money at it isn't going to make things go faster. It's like the dedicated group of people that are doing it are probably spending a lot of time and energy to try and figure out the advancements. But yeah, it's like society right now doesn't necessarily have that big of a play to like. It's just expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, again, it's like the chicken and the egg. You're going to make solar panels so people can have more access to electric cars, but people can't afford electric cars. It's like you can't charge them and you don't have enough demand, and you don't have enough demand because it's expensive, and you can't reduce the cost of charging them and increase the infrastructure, make it more accessible because that's expensive too. It's like these competing interests that are both related to price, obviously. Excellent. Nita, what are your thoughts on that?
It's a huge money grab. Those are my thoughts on that. Unless you can literally afford to just burn cash, I don't know, man. It's like I said, it was a huge lifestyle change, and it still is a huge lifestyle change for a lot of people. Every time we have people who come in and, they're trying to explore EV options, they have so many questions just to even figure out what their backup plans are should anything go wrong.
Yeah. It's true.
You go on Tesla's website, right? And they encourage you to even have a whole generator just in case things go wrong. And that's another expense that you have to worry about.
Yeah.
Just way too many, the amount that you have to pay for fail-safes is insane.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, a car, we are in the business of providing reliable transportation. I think we have a mantra. We say a bunch of things. Rome provides simple access. We make it easy to get access to reliable transportation on a flexible basis. Work on a monthly basis. Make it simple. Startup costs as low as possible. Credit implications non-existent. It's kind of our whole model, right? And so I think the challenge is obviously these electric car customers. As much as we support them, it's just definitely a learning curve, I think, for society as a whole. We love our Tesla customers. We love Teslas. We love our other EVs that we have in the fleet. Some of our Audis and Volkswagens and Kias and Fords, we got the hybrids all over. But I think the big challenge what it comes back to is, the accessibility of, like Nita saying, the fail-safe. Yeah. So anyways, try with Rome. See if you can live with it. That's why we're here.
Not to discourage anyone.
That's the whole point.
But that's, exactly.
It's the try not to hate, love a Tesla, try not to hate a Tesla challenge. We dare you.
Level impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, so last article we're going to touch upon. This is one of those wildcard articles where we read the headline, we looked at the photo, and we said, let's talk about it. We didn't read the article. I didn't. Did you guys?
I skimmed past it.
Okay, so we'll skim for the readers right now, for the listeners. Basically, there was an F1. It was a 512M. I don't think it's $512 million, but it was a roadster. It was swiped at the podium finish at 1995 San Marino Grand Prix, but it was just found in London. Interesting. It was found after nearly 30 years of going missing with the Metropolitan Police in London, and they just recently got this car back, a former Ferrari. I think this is interesting. So basically, returning after celebrations after finishing third and setting the fastest lap of the race, Berger walked up to a scene of grand theft. Seeing this, he blocked the path to his fleeing Ferrari. Was quickly forced to change tack as the getaway shoe showed no interruptions of stopping. So
He just ran straight at him.
basically, yeah, his Ferrari was
On
getting
site.
stolen. Probably a very easy place to steal a car if you think about it.
I mean, everyone's
Nobody thinks you're going to be stealing the third place winning car. You know what I mean?
impossible.
Exactly. So, like, bottom line, interesting little article. I'm glad that guy got it back. The value of it is £350,000, about $600,000 Canadian. Cool. Happy for the guy.
It's crazy though. Like, I mean, look at Canada right now, right? Like, vehicles are getting stolen left, right, and center. We've had a couple recovered, right? We do a good job
Thankfully.
of doing that, right? But I mean, like, you hear it all the time. I mean, I think the Ontario government, they got a task force now. Hopefully, we'll see what comes out of that.
So, here's the thing. Regardless of what happens, everybody liked the show Dog the Bounty Hunter. There's a guy who does YouTube videos online as well, Patty.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Again.
So, bottom line,
Yeah.
if it ever comes down to that, and the officers, the boys in blue, need a little help,
It was called Patty.
call Patty, man. Say, hey, Patty, we got a hot lead. We got a hot lead, dude. We got an episode. Let's film it.
Yeah.
I think there's some content. There's some content warriors out there, and we'll expose the secrets, guys. We'll send a manhunt out there, and that'll be very cool.
That'd be
And
awesome.
as a Rome subscriber, you're a part of it. So, yeah,
That's
you have
only part of
no legal obligation though as well. But yeah, no, that was the first episode, guys. How do we feel?
Feels good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Feels good, man.
Yeah, so I think the goal of this, we're just going to have some fun. We're going to talk about it. We're going to build our presence. A lot of people just kind of hear about us online, and the first question we get is what?
Who are you guys?
And are you
Are you a real company?
a real company?
Right.
Guys, I don't know what's more real than this, and girls, what's more real than this? This is three of the folks of the many employees that we have here that are working just to serve you guys behind the scenes. We are going to be doing some cool things. We have a lot of fun business customers that we work with. We support a lot of businesses and activities around the community, so we are going to bring in some experts.
Yes.
So we're not going to be mumbling most of the time. We're going to share the banter, though, with some of these people.
Yeah.
But we're also going to try and learn a few things. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. You know?
Yeah, I want to get some dealer guys in here,
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
right? Let's hear their perspective, right?
I think that'd be a great idea.
We hear all the time, right, from our customers, like, oh, the dealer did this, the dealer did that, right? I mean, like, let's
Ask
be
a dealer, man. Exactly.
We'll have a little segment there.
100%. So that's it, folks. Thanks so much for tuning into this one.
Yeah.
It's been a wrap. This is episode 1, pilot.
Pilot test episode.
That's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome.